Hey everybody, welcome back to the episode today. We have a very special guest, Kelsie Blevins. She has done over $30 million in real estate sales in her first 2 years. She's grown to, I believe, 88,000 followers on Instagram to this day and over 50,000 on TikTok. And
Yes.
we're super excited to have you on today and thank you for taking the time, Kelsie.
Absolutely. Thank you. I think this is a really cool opportunity for me to maybe get some insight for NC State and what you guys have going on. I think it's really cool, really sweet that you guys have something to where you can come together, talk about real estate. And I'm just honored that you wanted me here to talk about it.
Well, thank you. And matter of fact, I was at a coffee this morning with a real estate agent friend of mine. His name is Robert Joins. And I mentioned to him that I was coming here today, and he said he had heard about you and had given you real high praises. How does it feel to be recognized by people that have been in the industry for decades in other cities? Like,
That is, that's, that's so crazy to me. Who is it again?
his name's Robert Joins.
Robert Twins. What firm is he with?
Um, I
You
don't
haven't, where was it? Okay, wait. So where was it at? In Raleigh?
in Raleigh, yes, in North Hills.
That is
It's
amazing.
pretty cool, isn't it?
Okay, so I don't know. It's a really crazy feeling, and I think this just goes to show the power of social media, what social media could actually do for your business, for your reputation, and I think it's really important. But reaching that amount of people is only something God could do, and it's a unique feeling. I really don't know I can't narrow down what it makes me feel, but it's like it's a little crazy, but I'm really thankful for it.
Yeah. Well, I'm hoping today we're able to kind of take you back on your journey and reflect a little bit so we can see kind of how this happened along the way. And going off that, I mean, I can imagine real estate agency isn't something that maybe you've always been looking at. Maybe I'm wrong. We'd like to hear kind of what you were doing leading up to being a real estate agent, from out of school. How did this become a thing?
Oh wow. Okay. So I was in college to be a medical sonographer, and that is ultrasounds. And I hated it. Honestly, I hated college. I hated the whole thing about it. I mean, I was okay with going to college because I thought that's what you were supposed to do, just to get a degree and do that. And then while I was in the waiting period of getting accepted into the program, I started selling cars. And so when I started selling cars, I realized I was a very competitive person and I was the top saleswoman out of all men.
Congratulations.
So I knew then that I had this, I just love sales. And growing up, I didn't have a lot of nothing. Like even to this day, if, everything were to fail and I didn't have anything, I wouldn't really have anywhere to go. I'd have maybe my dad's house. My dad's aging. So, if he were to go, I wouldn't have anything. So I don't have any family to lean back on. So that was the biggest motivation of sales is a way for me to make as much money as possible quickly, but it was a stability thing that I've always chased my whole entire life. So college wasn't enough stability for me. And so, when I got into sales and realized there was an opportunity there, it kind of transformed into what is something bigger that I could sell. And then it got into, okay, well, I'm a follower of Christ and I don't want to just chase money. So, what's the biggest impact I could make on other people's lives? And it was real estate. And honestly, didn't even get into real estate until my boyfriend I'm with now, I've been with him for 3 years. He had some friends in real estate, and I was like, well, that's a very tangible thing I could possibly do. And then I'm very competitive, so I did it, and then prayerfully like excelled.
There you go. Well, I had a buddy of mine who did sales at a Sky Zone, and he thought the same thing. What's something that I could, with these skills I have, how can I elevate my career? And it sounds like it's a good next step for people in sales is real estate agency.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, it's a super competitive industry. I mean, it's real estate will test your endurance, it will test your faith, it will test your how consistent you can be. And it's just a real test of what type of mindset do you have. Because if you have a very poor mindset, you won't succeed in real estate at all. So it's a very unique field. It's great money, but it's one of the most competitive fields ever.
Oh, 100%. And back to the kind of sales thing, do you think that you were naturally good at sales, or was this something that took time to get accustomed to?
I don't think anyone is naturally good at sales. I think they're good at people skills. I think it's more than just sales. And going back to me, I don't think I was very good at sales because I was just, it was easy for me to do. No, very, very much no, because I actually learned a lot in when I was selling cars. So I learned a lot from there. And now car sales is true. Let me sell you something. Real estate's very different. It's like, let me help you. How can I provide value to you? So I think I was good in it as I'm a very people person. And I realized that when I got out of car sales, it's not I'm trying to make someone do anything. I just want to be there as a service to someone. And I feel like that switch made it really easy for me and more comfortable in real estate sales.
Yeah, because car sales is a little more pushy in real estate.
Yes.
You kind of build your own.
I don't even like going to car dealerships. I was that girl that was chasing you down.
That's
I
what you
was,
have to do, right?
yeah, I was literally like running. No, that was me. I didn't like it. And you had to be there all the time. This was much more flexible. A lot of people think that, oh, I can be a real estate agent part-time, and you most definitely cannot be an agent part-time because there's fees that we have to pay. There's an investment of your time that you have to do, and a part-time, it's not, you can't do that.
So switching from car sales to real estate, I mean, do you remember when things really started to shift for you? And obviously, this must have been pretty early on, but how long did it take you to get your first deal? And when did you realize that this is something that you can actually take full advantage of?
So it took me like 2 or 3 months to get my first real estate deal. But so when you first start real estate, no one tells you how to get your first deal whenever you're in school. No one's like, okay, this is how you sell real estate. This is how you get business. So when I realized that this is something I'm really gonna have to truly do, I found something that worked for me, and I didn't take anyone's advice and did the cold calling, door knocking, mailers. I never did any of that. I used social media so heavily, invested all my time, all my money into it. And when I seen one thing that was working, I copied and pasted it, and I did it over and over and over and over and over. And I think that's where consistency comes in, is that type of mindset is when you see something working, you don't spread yourself too thin, because then you're going to fail at the thing that's actually working. Oh goodness, my bad. Fail at the thing that's actually working. So it only took me about 2 or 3 months, and then I just copied and pasted that same algorithm that I did.
And how long, I mean, how in those first 2 or 3 months, how big did your social media following go to?
Oh gosh, so social media really didn't come into play until after a full year of real estate. So I think my social media started growing whenever I seen that there was a gap in my market of videography and helping sellers. So obviously I wanted to be better, be the best I possibly could, and just excel. So I sat back and was like, what is one thing I can do that other real estate agents in this market are not doing? And it was social media marketing for the listings. No one was doing it.
Specifically in the Hickory and surrounding
Yeah.
area?
Like specifically the Catawba Valley area, no one here was doing it. If they were, it was on their phone. It wasn't very high quality, and it just didn't even do justice because it wasn't actually going anywhere but other than their profile. So I really needed to figure out, how can I be different? What can I do? And that takes money. That takes an investment into other people's livelihood of their property, because a lot of people need to move or they have to do things. So I seen a gap, and I found a company out of Charlotte that I'm now very close with. They're great people and we excel. And I just started making that investment on each listing. So, and then now since I did that in Hickory, every other real estate agent in Hickory is doing it, that's great. But that's perfectly fine. That's great. You got to adapt, you have to change. But I will say I did introduce that into my Hickory market, and it changed my social media. It changed my clients' lives. It changed my life. And I wouldn't change it for the world.
Well, congratulations to you for revolutionizing the Hickory market. And
Yes.
also, I mean, you see so many people doing content today. Sounds like that's something that you kind of pioneered as well. When you were starting off, you said you found like a video style that worked for you. What was that? Like, what was the content that you started to replicate that you saw actually started to bring in views or deals?
So when it came to like so when I first started content, I was just reading Bible verses in my car. Like it was like, what can I post today? Like I wanted to post 5 times a day or 5 times a week, because that's what the algorithm said at the time for you to do. So I studied the algorithm as well, and then So I would post educational videos like what do you probably not know about the contract that I do? You probably don't know that you could get your earnest money back within your due diligence period. You Most people don't even know, like they have no idea, especially first time home buyers. So it was like what could I do? How can I educate someone? So I made educational content and then I made personable content at first. And it just started growing, growing, growing. And then when I had listings, got those listings, I just made listing videos. And then the more listing videos you can make for your clients, the other sellers are going to see, oh my goodness, she's the only person doing this. And she's actually doing it really well. She's not doing it with her phone. She's putting money into my investment. And it grew from there. So, and whenever I evolved, and now my content style is my camera crew, they know, I mean, my videographers, they know what lens I like, they know what kind of angle I like, and then you kind of can perfect it. But in the beginning, you just have to do what's working. And I think that's educational, personable, and just really informing your prospective client.
Yeah. So you started off educating the client. Then once that grew, you actually got a client out of it.
Yes.
Then once you got that listing, you maximized the scope of viewness of that listing, and you found a niche in the market that other people weren't doing, and that's how you essentially started.
Yeah, like it goes from just doing whatever you can, but being better, not even being better. I don't want to say it that way just because it's not about being better than the other person. It's about serving your client better than someone else, because this is our livelihood. We have to get business, is the only way we can get business. But how can you serve them and provide value to them better and more than the other person can? And that is with authenticity. That's with consistency. That's with your own funds whenever you have a business. And that's with your mindset. And then just actually putting their best interest before your own.
So, I mean, it sounds like that's a main point for you. Like, how do you put someone's best interest first? Like, what is something specific that you do that maybe other people don't?
So that's a really good question.
Thank you.
Okay. Repeat it for me.
How do you serve your clients best that maybe is something that other agents don't do?
So I serve my client. I mean, I serve my clients better just with that investment on their property.
Because you're giving them so many views, so much exposure. That's the word I was looking for.
Yes, the exposure. Oh my gosh, I feel like you asked me a question though. Sorry, completely off topic. You can cut that out, probably, maybe. But you asked me a question just now that was really good, and I feel like we both just lost it.
It's so
No, that was good, and I had to think about it.
you gave a couple examples of how you serve clients.
Yeah.
I was wondering, what is one way maybe that you stand out in terms of service to clients that others don't? And we mentioned that exposure seems to be one of the main ones.
Exposure.
Are there any others? I know some people at closings will bring their clients gifts. Sometimes they'll put a new TV in their property. Is there anything? Is there anything unique like that maybe you do that people might not think of?
So what I try to do to stand out for my clients, to serve them better, is obviously putting their best interest first. That's what you asked me. See? Okay, I'm sorry. You said, what do you do that puts their best interest first? That was good, and I want to figure that out because that is okay. You said, what do you do? What do you do that puts their best interest first?
I did say
right.
Yeah.
That is what you said, and that was good because I'm over here like, oh my gosh, hang on.
We can circle back to that. Maybe we'll find what that is later down the road.
Yeah. What do you do that puts their best interest first? Okay. Anyway, sorry. Get back on track however you feel like you need to, but I do like that question.
Well, thank you. I'll try to ask more of those.
Okay.
Would you say that most of your clients are inbound now through social media?
No. So, well, actually, yeah, I do think a lot of my clients come from social media, but so I had a pretty decent following on Facebook from my local town and city, but I do think they mostly come from social media now and word of mouth.
How did you grow that Facebook follower?
I guess I wasn't popular in high school at all, but I did, and a lot of people knew who I was in high school. So it was just like local people that, knew me.
Just naturally.
Yeah, naturally. It wasn't a lot though, definitely not. Maybe like 1,000 people, which is not a lot. Well, yes, it is a lot of people. Yeah.
Will you walk us through a deal that came from your social media?
Oh my goodness, yes. Okay, so I helped this one buyer. So like I'll have a lot of buyers that reach out to me through social media. And this one buyer, she just reached out to me and she was like, "Hey, I'm looking to move to the area." And I just kind of took it from there. But a lot of times they come into my spam, and I feel like I do miss a lot of people because I'm gaining so much of a following. So I'm trying to delegate that task with AI to try and help. But another deal, just besides buyers reaching out to me, I had a builder from out of state. They're wanting to invest here, and that was great. He seen my content online. He noticed that I help a lot of builders, and he just reaches out to me, and then that forms a beautiful relationship to where I can help him build multiple properties here in Hickory.
Yeah, that's good. And I want to take a step back. You mentioned that you're implementing AI to help with some of the clients you can't go to. What does that look like? How are you?
Well, I'm trying. So I don't use AI right now. I'm trying to think about, I think Meta might have some type of AI implementation for Instagram and Facebook. So I'm trying to explore that. But I haven't been able to really implement it. Right now, I use Claude AI to help me with like my scripting, typing out massive emails, grouping
So you
requests.
do your scripting.
Yes, yes, yes. I create all my scripts, all the content ideas. There's only one that I didn't create, and I actually got a lot of hate on it, but it's okay. It's not even that bad. But but yeah, now I do create everything, all the ideas, all the angles. I mean, now obviously my videographers will come in and they specialize in what's good for the house. But when it comes to like what I want to see myself look like on camera and my scripting, I definitely do it myself.
You go and was there a moment where you were like, "Wow, my content is really blowing up"?
You know, no, I feel like I try humbly not to look at it blowing up at all, or I try not to look at that because I don't want to get sucked into the ways of this world of just I feel like it's very, very easy. Social media, the way you view it can be the enemy in many ways, in my opinion. So I try not to look at it as, wow, I'm blowing up on social media. Wow, I'm doing all these different things and it's really great. But just because it's not me, I try and take a huge step back and know that it's not me and it could be taken away so easily, and I just want to steward it well. So it's an interesting question because I never really looked at it and thought, wow, I'm blowing up on social media, because I still think I am so humble and I'm like this 10-year-old girl singing Justin Bieber in my in my room. So definitely don't think too much about that. I haven't had a true moment to step back and look.
How do you think your faith keeps you grounded in business?
I think my faith keeps me grounded in business in many different aspects, whether that be representing my client or just having a genuine conversation with people. I think when people interact with me, I feel like they know that I have their best interest in mind, not just because I'm a real estate agent, but because I have my faith and I'm grounded in faith. I have the characteristics of Christ, or I strive to be. And I feel like that shines through in the way I present them and even with trust. And it's not always about winning their trust, but it's about making them feel comfortable, because it's a really huge decision. Whether you're selling or buying, it's a big decision. And if they can trust you and see your genuineness, and in my opinion, it's all through faith. People are genuine. They don't have to, believe in Jesus or anything like that. But I think for me, it helps me in tremendous ways, whether that be getting more business, having a successful deal, having a great conversation, and building relationships. I think it is super essential and what has helped me a lot.
And probably helps keep you grounded when times get hard.
Absolutely. Just like this repair request that came in. Jesus, help me. So, yeah.
Well, I'd love to ask. I know last month you served over 9 clients, correct?
Yes, last month I helped 9 people either buy or sell last month.
So how stressful can that get? And how do you
Stressful enough for me to get an assistant, and she will be starting May 1st. So stressful enough for that. But I mean, it's fine. So honestly, I do need a little more time to delegate tasks for existing clients, like people I'm working and builders and whatnot. So it can get a little stressful with that, but it's so rewarding because each person is just so happy, whether it's the seller or the buyer. I mean, typically the builder is not really like super extremely happy if they have a lot of builds, so they're fine. But if it's like a resale or a buyer, they are so extremely happy. So it just makes me happy. It makes me want to work harder too. And then, with real estate, I can work from my phone anytime. So it's not too bad, although it is stressful whenever it's like due diligence requests, deadlines to meet, and things like that. But that's why I'm getting my assistant, so I can focus on actually serving the person and she can deal with the hard stuff.
You're progressing, it sounds like. And I think a lot of people, and especially new agents, you work with builders a lot. What does that look like? How did you get in that market, and how do you help serve builders?
You know, it's so crazy. I don't really know how I got into the market with serving builders. I prayed a lot that I wanted to help builders, and it just started happening because obviously I think we talked a little bit more earlier about stability, and I knew that I wanted stability in my life, and I knew builders could help me with that. I get to help them, they get to help me with business, so we can have a good partnership, good relationship that helps my peace of mind, that helps them, and then so yeah, so I think it really was just a God thing. I don't know. I mean, I wasn't extra qualified. I didn't take any extra classes for it. It was just started happening. I started getting a lot of experience, and then more builders started coming.
So you saw that builders, like you said, it's a way to have continued business essentially.
Yeah,
You wanted to get in there so you could, help ride that wave in a sense. You
absolutely.
think that maybe your following and having so much exposure is one of the reasons that helped you out there?
Absolutely. So builders really love when you have a good following. They love the exposure because some builds are kind of harder to sell. Sometimes, people prefer a residential resale in some neighborhoods, and some people really like new construction. But, sometimes whether it be priced at $200 a square foot or $300 a square foot, you need the maximum exposure to target the right buyer for that build. So it's just a lot harder with new construction. And the maximum exposure in the following definitely is appealing to them because, I'm touching all bases. I have, the homes.com exposure because I pay monthly for that. I have the social media. And then obviously the traditional stuff on MLS. So it just checks all of their boxes, and builders do love that more than probably residential resale. And honestly, residential resale, that's a lot of like person to person connection, like referral base. Because builders are looking for like who can help me with my brand, who can help me, who can sell all these properties for me. So definitely helps.
Yeah, and I think you are so humble. I do have to remind you that you are doing very well on social media. For advice for a brand new agent who had zero followers and was trying to build their following, what would you tell them to start posting tomorrow?
I would tell them to start posting educational content. So, what is one thing or two, five, six things that you know that your client doesn't know or your prospective client does not know about the contract? Talk about it. There's 17 pages in that contract. There's so many different things you can talk about. So, you need to educate your client. And then you need to sprinkle in some of what you like, not too much. I like to keep my social media business. When I first started though, I did, read out Bible verses, and I did like do like a day in my life, but it was all business based. You need to post as much as you possibly can, but you essentially need to educate your client. And that's what I would say is to educate and to post as much as you can.
So posting often and educating your client is what actually converts into business.
Absolutely. I think that is essential. And I actually don't even educate as much as I should anymore. Right now, I just talk about maximum exposure because that's really what I'm here for my clients for. I feel like my niche now is I can get you maximum exposure on your property better than the other agent, better than the other average agent. But that wasn't just because of any gift or anything I got. That was the consistency and the determination that God gave me that I can put into my business. And if I can put that into my business on social media, I can put that into your property. So it's like, it's a chain of effect.
And are there any like what kind of content gets views but doesn't convert to deals?
I think so. I think whenever you say like a rage bait thing on social media, that does not convert to deals. It just gets views. And honestly, I would rather get I would rather get quality clients than rage bait views.
That's very fair.
Absolutely.
So when you're starting out, this is something that everyone has to go through. You have to start making those first posts without zero following. Or if you're using your already followed account, it's kind of like putting yourself out there in a weird way that maybe you're afraid people are going to judge you for doing it. What, what kept you posting when you were getting started and when things weren't working out yet?
I think what kept me going is I just seen the vision. I seen that there is a vision there, and I followed it. What kept me posting was the consistency and determination that I had and the integrity that I knew that people were missing and I could give them. I was so desperate for relationships and just I wanted relationships with people, and I was very isolated, like growing up and stuff. So it was just something, a vision I seen that I know was so tangible, and I seen it. I seen so many top producers, and I knew I could do it. But it was really the determination. I didn't care if anyone thought it was cringy or what. You have to have that resilience, and you have to just keep doing it, because then one day you're getting asked to do podcasts.
So you just never thought that it wouldn't work out, essentially.
Yeah, actually, I don't think I ever thought one time it wouldn't work out. I think your mind is so powerful. What you feed it is what's going to happen. I think your mind and the way that you perceive things is so, so powerful. It will change your life. If there was ever a moment where I was like, you know what, this just isn't going to work, it wouldn't have worked. It absolutely would not have worked. And it's not even something you have to achieve or get it to work. This is about serving other people. If you can get that through your head, even though you want to see, the light at the end of the tunnel, you will flourish. And you just have to figure out what can I do? What is the bigger picture? It's not being a top producer. It's serving others like Jesus would serve others, in my opinion.
I love that. Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. I mean, I cold called you and asked you if you wanted to be on this episode.
Oh my gosh, I thought he was spam. I thought that he was like spam emailing me or like, yes, I'm so sorry about that, but yes.
No, you were fine, but I mean, that goes to show, I wanted to get you on. You have such a big following. I bet most people think you're busy, you don't have the time, which you definitely are. So we appreciate you being here, but it took me to reach out and take that opportunity that maybe others didn't, and I didn't see it not working out, and here we are.
Absolutely. You were probably one of the most consistent people that kept reaching out. So that's a character trait that you have to have in any type of business. Obviously. I mean, you just have to do it unapologetically until someone's like, stop.
And you're not mad at me, are you?
No, I'm not mad. It's okay. I think what you're doing is really cool. I think that, obviously this is not a huge podcast. I don't care. I feel like whenever that's like a trait of mine, I don't care how big the podcast is. I just want to know what the impact is. Don't matter how big it is. And this is going to impact people within NC State and what they're, wanting to learn. So that's good enough for me.
Thank you. Going on to like your actual business. I know we've talked about the content, your social media. 17 million in volume in your first year is pretty crazy. What did that day to day look like? I mean, you'd never had experience doing this many deals, obviously. You barely had experience doing deals at all. Like, how were you able to adapt so quickly? And what was your Monday through Friday like?
Oh my goodness. So my first 7 months, I did 7 million. And then my first full year, I did 17. And then now my first quarter into my second year, I've done 10. So like all together about 30 million. And I will tell you, each quarter got busier and busier and busier. But you learn how to delegate tasks really well, like really well. Like I can write up a contract in 15 minutes, but do it really, really well because I've done it so many times. I've sold over 100 houses now. And my day-to-day at first was really hectic. Like it was really, really bad. It was a lot. I thought that I was going to not be able to do this, but it's just like practice. So, you practice and practice and practice, and it just gets so much easier. Like I can close 10 deals a month now, and it's hard, but not as if it was my first day in real estate. I wouldn't have been able to do it. So it just comes with practice, and you learn how to delegate your time. And I think that comes with mindset. I think that comes with determination and consistency. Everything I have been talking about, I think it comes with how you're able to delegate tasks, how you're able to delegate problems within real estate, and how effectively you can do that for other people and how quickly you can. So I watch a lot of stuff about millionaires and billionaires and what they do and their characteristics they have, and it's do it as fast and as efficiently as you can whenever you get it and you don't wait. And then that's the more you succeed.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. That's exactly it. Some people are afraid to take that next step.
Yeah, they're afraid. They think about too much. Don't think about it. Do not think about too much. Do what you got to do. And, the only time you need to think about it too much is whenever you're negotiating. But when it's other stuff, but you're prospecting, you're making videos, you're doing all the hard stuff, like don't think about it too much. Just do it.
And it will get better and better over time.
It will get better and better.
That's how you start.
Absolutely.
No one starts as a pro.
Absolutely. If you ever scroll down into my content, those are my day one videos, and they're funny. So you should probably go look at them.
I'm looking forward to doing that later.
Yeah.
I'm curious. So you just are now hiring an assistant.
Yes.
At what point recently did you realize, oh my gosh, I need help that?
Well, me and my boyfriend, he learned how to turn off work. So he owns a roofing company. He's doing really well for himself. Love him for that, and I'm very proud of him. But it started getting to where it's like, Kelsie, if I can put my phone down and I have like 30 employees, I think you can learn how to put your phone down too. And, it kind of just started getting into my personal life. So I was like, okay, I'm going to have to get an assistant. But I'm a freak with all my stuff and everything. So it's a part of me I have to let go. It's a challenge I'm praying about. But, I'm a perfectionist in what I do. I want to know someone's going to do it and do it right. They're going to have the same characteristics as me. So I interviewed like 15 people. And I took it really, really seriously because this is going to be my brand. This is going to be who I have beside me, hopefully for a very long time. So, but it got to the point where it was just taking up every single second of my life.
I think your phone buzzed 5 times while you're saying that.
It's funny, yeah, I did. It was a lot right there.
What's the most stressful situation you've had to deal with as of lately?
So I think my most stressful situation in real estate was probably when I first started and the septic came. So fun fact in real estate, you have to, for it to advertise bedrooms, you have to go off the septic permit. And the listing agent had misrepresented how many bedrooms were on the septic. Obviously, I didn't double check. She's a listing agent. I mean, so, but I've learned my lesson. My assistant will be double checking. You just think the other professionals are going to do their job and do it well, but she just misrepresented it, and it was the most stressful thing ever because my buyer had to pay that difference off. She wanted to do something. I can't remember exactly what she wanted to do, but it ended up costing me a lot of money because, I'm not going to let my client be upset. But yeah, that was probably the most stressful thing ever is whenever someone else didn't do their job and, misrepresented on MLS.
So you learn that everyone else may not be as on top of it.
Yes, but we all make mistakes though, so it was nothing like against her. I feel like I could have done the same thing, if I just would have missed it one day. So it was a mistake, but it was a pretty expensive mistake. But I think the most stressful part is whenever you misrepresent something.
You feel pressured to keep performing at this level you're at?
Um, that's a cool question. No, I don't think I feel pressured. I think it's just a part of who I am. And I love to see how far I can push my mindset. I love to see how far I can go, how hard it can get, because I know the harder it gets, not a lot of people will do it, and that's exactly where I want to be.
And with that pressure comes opportunity and responsibility. So I've heard you're hosting a special on HGTV coming up.
Yes.
Will you walk us through how that opportunity came to you?
Yeah, that was really cool. So yeah, I'll be a host on the American Dream TV. They reached out to me. They actually reached out to a lot of top producing agents, but it's an opportunity that arose, and I'm going to utilize this for my clients and my listings and to showcase Hickory. But that came just because of being a top producer, and they actually reached out to me over email. Thought it was spam. This is why I need an assistant, because I'm like, oh, this isn't a PDF like attached. Delete. So, but yeah, it came probably from social media. They probably found me from social media.
So what is this going to look like? What do we need to look forward to?
I mean, so I'm just going to be doing a lot of tours around Hickory, some luxury properties, some of my listings, not too much about me because it's going to be on TV. Just a day of life trying to sell Hickory and just, maybe sprinkling a little bit of who I am in there, but just more exposure, something else I can do for my clients and, potentially help more and more people.
You really are putting Hickory on the map, it sounds like.
I am. Hickory is on the map, but we're growing though, so yeah.
And for your real estate future, are you looking to grow your personal brand, or do you have any vision of starting a team down the road?
So my personal brand, yeah, I will be heavily focusing on growing my personal brand bigger and bigger as I can. I will definitely have a team someday, but it's going to be really hard for me to do that because they're going to have to be just like me, like same everything. I mean, my brand and what I do for my clients is we're going to have to all be on the same page. So I do see that happening, but I also am going to be starting a second business of coaching real estate agents in the near future. So that'll be business number 2 for me. Hopefully I can help a lot of people there too. But yeah, so that's what's to come in the future.
Well, congratulations. That's really exciting, actually.
I know I'm excited for that too.
Is there like a next milestone you're chasing in terms of sales or anything like that?
My next milestone is I do want to be a luxury agent. I love new construction luxury properties. I love lake properties. I love the lifestyle that comes with it. I love the mindset the most within the people I get to interact with because it's always pushing. I'm always looking for what can push me to the best possible version I could ever be. And, I want to kind of get into that. Now, that doesn't mean I won't sell. Properties are not luxury because I want to serve everyone. But hopefully I can grow a team big enough one day that, I can, kind of pick and choose where I want to be out of the respect for everyone and still serving people. And that's why it's going to be really hard for me to pick someone that's just like me to serve these other people because they deserve to be served.
Mm-hmm. The agent I was speaking with this morning, he said that on the website they put luxury agent next to his name. and he lost out on a couple deals because people were like, "Hey, we didn't think you did lower price homes." Do you have any? Have you thought about that? Is there any
Yes.
strategy going into it?
I absolutely have thought about that, and I will not put I'm a luxury agent on anything. I think luxury is how you treat people. I think luxury is what you do as a service for them. I don't think it is a word that you should use unless you're just solely working on luxury real estate. Like if you're okay with losing out on deals, great, do that. But if you're not okay with losing out on deals or just helping people that are, they may take offense to that. I don't ever want to offend anyone, so I will probably never use that word. And if I do, then I'm just focusing on luxury. But I do think it messes up some people's deals. Sure. I really do.
Um, 10 years from now, when people hear your name, what do you want to be known for?
Oh, that's so cool. I want to be known. I feel like a lot of people I look up to say this, but I want to be known for my faith. I want to be known for the girl that wanted to serve people better than the other person, but had so much faith doing it, and that it was just so unshakable, and they felt changed being in the same room with me, and just had some type of change of heart. That dedication and consistency can create the best life you could ever think of.
I like that.
Thanks.
Do you have any advice to aspiring agents if you were to sum up everything you've done, everything you said on this episode? Like, if anyone can take away one thing from what you did, what would that be?
One piece of advice and one thing I want you to take with you is that your determination and who you are can genuinely change every aspect of your life. And if you want to be a top agent, if you want to help and serve other people, then you first have to fix yourself internally, with that being your mindset. You do not have to be perfect. You're not supposed to be perfect, but you have to work on yourself more than your business, and then it will shine through on your business.
Perfectly said. Well, Kelsie, I don't have any other questions for you today. I really do appreciate you spending the time to come on and share with the audience, and wish you the best in your career, obviously. And I'm super excited to stay in tune with you and see how things go. With the real estate coaching coming up, is that something that people can look out for?
Yes, please look out for that. I have a lot of agents that reach out to me, and I have told them that that is coming. I just have to delegate that. But yeah, that's coming. Please look out for that, and I hope that I can serve and impact people then too. And thank you for having me on. I hope that everyone in your real estate club benefits from this. And as always, if you have any questions or referrals, let me know.
Will do. And how can people find you online?
You can look me up on Instagram. You can honestly just look up Kelsie Blevins. I should pop up, but if not, it is _K.ELSIE. Anyway, you probably find it like that. But and then Facebook and TikTok, and then soon to be YouTube.
There we go. Well, thank you for your time, Kelsie.
Absolutely. Thank you.